Okay, I want to go through a number of changes I've made to the course that should make things a little bit easier. And so follow with me, and most of these will make sense, and I'll also cover some of the issues with English 81, okay? First thing is I've changed the calendar and the due dates, but again, this will be the fourth announcement, but you should still have worked on going through the videos. Going through the video lessons on Chelmno and Treblinka and the Warsaw Ghetto. And I've changed some of the due dates for the discussions, okay? So I'll go through those. These discussions down here, most of you have gotten to them, but not everybody has. I do want everybody to get through all of them. And what I did, if you had trouble getting into them before, I changed the due dates to the end of this week. So if you haven't done the Chelmno summary, get in, watch the video section I've got right here on Chelmno, and do your best with it. And also you should watch the lecture I have on Chelmno, and then go in and post in the discussion and do the best you can with it, okay? And if you haven't done the Treblinka, go into the Treblinka discussion. Let's see that. Go in here and type up your own submission. And here's Anahit. And others have put their submissions in. And go ahead and make sure yours is in there. And do it as soon as you can. But I'm going to have the due date. I moved it back until Friday. Okay? So make sure you take care of that right away this week. They all have to be done. And so if you did not get to the Chelmno discussion, go ahead and get back to it. The Treblinka and the Warsaw Ghetto, get all of those done first and foremost. In the coming days, we're going to start on the early draft. And this is where you're going to get it, is right here. It's a PDF. So it's going to download onto your computer. And I've got it right here. It just downloaded onto the web browser, went to there. And I'll go through the process of filling that out, which is going to be a lot like what we did in class when class was still meeting. But you're going to get a little more time on that. And then the middle draft is right here. And then I'll have you guys work on that in a little bit, okay? But here's the essay assignment. This is where we're going towards. But you shouldn't worry about it just yet. We'll work through the early drafts and get through the history first, okay? Let me go through the changes to the calendar that I've made. If you click on the calendar, it's on the left. And let me go through that because that's the biggest changes. What I found out is that we are still going to end at the end of the semester, the date at the end. But we lost all that time. We lost, a lot of time in the middle of the class. And that is just going to make everything too difficult. I did try to keep us on pace to complete all the assignments by the end of the semester, but I can tell that people need a little more time and do a little bit better job on less work in order to really get down what they need to understand about English 101. And what I want to make sure is that everybody leaves this semester knowing how to complete the work, knowing how to complete a college-level essay, knowing how to develop your ideas, knowing what a description is and what an analysis is, and knowing how to cite things and format things properly. So what I've done is removed one of the essays. Instead of 4 essays, we're going to do 3 essays. But we're going to really work intently and really intensely on each essay to try to improve the quality of each one so that you get the next 2 essays are going to be of a very high quality. So that's what I've decided. And I made, right now, a number of changes to the calendar. And here you can see April 7th right here. That's, today. And I moved the assignments that were due throughout this week, and I moved them all to the 10th. So I moved them all over to the 10th, and that's when the 3 discussions are due, okay? So the 3 discussions are due on that day. And so get them done by that day. They're not hard to do, except for you've got to sit through the videos and make sure you follow all of the videos, okay? And now I did add, I will go through a little bit in English 81. I'll show you that in a moment. Next week is the spring break. I decided that we would not have work due over that. We'll stick as much as we can to the calendar and have that as a break. But I would advise you to work on, if you can, work on the drafts over that time. And you'll have time to work on them, and they're not that tough. As you remember, they're not that tough to complete as long as you put the time in. You can get it done. And I'm going to have the drafts due on the 20th. There's going to be 2 assignments. There's going to be the early draft and the middle draft, okay? So both of those are going to be due on the 20th when you're done with spring break. So if you get the drafts done, you will be in good shape to write the final essay. A number of people did not complete the drafts, and so they had trouble with the essay, or they were confused during the draft process. I'm going to make very detailed videos, probably tomorrow or the next day, on the draft process so that you don't get lost in the draft process, so it goes along smoothly. I've moved the due date for the essay back to the 21st. To April 21st is going to be the due date for the essay, okay? So let me show you something. Now, you guys are all in English 81 and 101, and let me show you the 81 assignments, okay? As you know with 81, and let me switch over to that class, and I'll show you that. Here it is. This is the 81 class. Why don't I get rid of myself? Let's love you. Take a break. Goodbye. 81 is here, and all I'm going to do for 81 is give these assignments. In other words, there's the video assignments. That's the reading, okay? And you should have the book. You should have the book with you because it's going to get tough if you don't have the book. And this is the Chelmno testimony in part 1, and then the Treblinka testimony in part 2, and then the Warsaw Ghetto is in the end of part 2, okay? So that's nothing new. That's the English 101 assignments just posted here on 81. Now, what I have that's different about 81 are these. These are PDFs where you're going to be just reflecting on, and let me open this one up. You'll be reflecting on the testimony of Simon Srebnick. Okay, and so that's just a PDF. You just have to fill that in. It's easy to do. You just answer questions about Simon Srebnick. And then this is great for the rough draft. And then you do Michael Plotchlebnik. And he's the same thing. You notice, it's just if you watch the testimony, why do you think Michael Plotchlebnik would not return to Chelmno for the interview? And just give your best answer. He doesn't say exactly why, but you could probably figure it out from listening to him. Why do you think he agreed to be interviewed? And just give your best answer. I just want you to understand what they're doing and who they are and kind of what's gone on with them. And so these are not difficult to complete. And so get Michael Plotchlebnik, Simon Srebnick, and all of them finished as best you can. Let me go back to 81. And so get each one of these assignments, these PDFs, filled out. They are not difficult. If you've watched the footage, these are easy to do. And what these really do is they prepare you to write. They get you ready to write the essay. And so that's why they're more reflective and not so analytical. They get you in a mind frame to understand the testimony of of these 6 witnesses to what went on. Okay, and there's one on Grassler and one on Rotem. Now, and this is the area where you're going to submit it. So after you do the Simon Srebnick PDF, you go here and you're going to submit it. Okay, so you'll just do the regular submission, you know, the way you did with the essay and everything. And so you submit them there, and that's how English 81 is going to work. Okay, so 81 is really focused on those reflective exercises, and let me show you the due dates for them. They're all due by the end of the week, by April 10th. If you guys can get them all done, and they're not hard to do, you should have by now watched all the testimony in Shoah. And so what these do is they get you going and get you thinking through the different possibilities you could take towards the different witnesses. Okay? And let me come back in here. So get these done by the end of the week along with the discussions. So get these PDFs. These are essentially journal entries for Abraham Bamba, for Franz Grassler, Sue Komel, and Pochlebnik, and Sima Rotem. Just do each one of them. It doesn't take a lot of hard work to get this early draft work done. Get that done, and then you'll be ready to undertake the essay for Shoah. So I've pushed the essay back, and let me call up the due dates for English 101. I've pushed the essay back to the 21st. So all of you should be breathing a sigh of relief. What's going to happen is what I've decided is, again, as I said before, I'm going to try to walk everybody through the draft process so everybody can write a very solid English 101 essay. By the time you get out of this class, it's going to cut down on the workload, but it's going to really improve your ability to go through the draft process and put an essay together, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing. I've made all those changes to it. I will be sending out videos on your essays. It is taking me a lot of time. I've got 5 classes, this semester. It's a lot of work. I've been working on the other classes, getting them, because I got you guys graded first. And so I sent them their videos off. I'm going to get your videos coming soon. I'm trying to treat everybody as fairly as I can. So I will get videos on your essays and walk you through them, okay? So keep at it, guys, and just get those discussions done, but also get the English 81. Get your testimonies done where you reflect on the testimonies of each of the witnesses. And these assignments are very closely linked. I just want you very familiar with the testimonies of each person. And I didn't want to put a quiz on you, so instead I put these assignments so you can do these at your will this week. Just get them submitted, and it'll be lower stress, and then we'll put the early draft days together, okay? All right, guys, take care, all right? And have a good, have a good rest of the week. I do hope you're doing all right. Take care.